Before the board acts, the board, I feel, is obliged to share with the community what you're acting on. Certainly the finances of anything like this would be important, I think, to share. I am not giving that as a legal, I'm giving that as a superintendent. I think that is important to share. I think those are all fair questions for a community to hear and weigh and decide, but the board ultimately votes. I, on a point of personal privilege, would indicate that and we really owed it to the president of the board to indicate that he's away on a business trip. He did send me an email that requested that this be tabled, that this be put off, and he was asking for a meeting on Tuesday where this is the only topic to be discussed. I absolutely agree with him that we should put this off. I think it would be a disservice to the children of this community, a disservice to the community to take any rapid action. We are involved in many, many suits. Given our size, that is not unusual. We are being represented, I think, by good people. I don't see the reason to rush into it tonight. I could see, and I hear that there's a 6-week transition team. I would wish it was a long-term sit down, decide what it is that you want in your attorneys, put it down as a request for proposal, put out that request for proposal, give the 2 current attorneys the 6 weeks, the 12 weeks, however long you think that process is going to be. Tell them what they need to improve their performance if you find it less than good. And if at the end of that process you're ready to interview 1 or 3 other firms, and by the way, we didn't get to discuss that you have a proposal from another that you asked for, and you haven't interviewed that person yet, so I can't imagine you'd want to vote in someone when you got a proposal you haven't looked at yet. I'm still the optimist.
I don't understand why we're having this conversation.
Is there any other discussion?
Yes, I have a discussion. Mr. Weeder is correct. He has, since the reorganization meeting, given indication that he wants to hire or wants us to consider other attorneys. And absolutely, there's nothing wrong with that. That's not the point. The point is that there is a process, I think, that anyone should go through if we're considering dismissing persons who do our bidding and wish to hire others to replace them. Dr. Ostacher has been very succinct in talking about the fact that although we've heard Mr. Weeder say that it is that they work at the will of the board, I have heard, and I would hesitate. I am confident that no one else has really heard real reasons, solid reasons why the issues that he feels are reasons why he'd want these attorneys dismissed aren't issues that you could discuss with them to change behavior that they're exhibiting now. If they don't, and once identified, and if they don't do as you indicate, that then you put in a process where, okay, we've discussed this. We need to move on. You're not moving in the way we need you to for the district, and we need to find new attorneys. That has definitely not occurred. And then he likes to say we interviewed an attorney. We came into a meeting and an attorney was there. He brought a proposal. We didn't even know that he was coming. And so we asked him a couple of questions, but I'm sure we would have liked to ask 1 or 2 other attorneys questions, because how do we know this is the right attorney? But Mr. Weeder has assured us that he has made the decision because he has talked to him extensively and he knows that he is the perfect attorney for this district. So these are my concerns, that we are hiring an attorney with some questions in their background, and even if they have been adjudicated appropriately, they happened. The two attorneys that we have now don't have any of that in their background. So strike one for Mr. D'Agostino. And finally, it's depressing to me that at the last year of my term on this board, I feel like a totally useless member because none, although my esteemed colleagues will allow me to voice my opinion and give me the right to speak. I know that they're only doing it out of courtesy because more often than not, decisions have been made and all I'm doing is blowing air. So, I feel that we're definitely going in a not very good direction for this district. And they'll talk about how we're going to get this new attorney and the educational, the children of the district will do much better. The lawyer has nothing to do with education. Education has to do with the staff, the leadership of the district, and what direction we're taking it in. And for the last year and a half, we have not talked about a direction for this district. So I don't know how we're going to get to where some members of this board think we're going to go if we're not actually thinking about education as opposed to dollars and cents and lawyers and other things that I think has not been addressed for the students of this district and their concerns. So I, for one, will be voting no, which won't make a bit of difference. Thank you.
Is there any other discussions about this? Mrs. Cohen, go ahead.
I couldn't agree with you more, Suzanne. I think it's really totally irresponsible for us as a board to think about moving forward without ever discussing as a group what our complaints are, why we're dissatisfied. And we can't even think about who we should hire if we don't know what the problems are. But I agree that, we owe it to our current attorneys to let them know in what ways we're dissatisfied and to see if that's something that can be negotiated. I also think it's irresponsible of us, particularly in this day and age, to be talking about adding this much more money to a budget, and it's money that doesn't exist, it hasn't been budgeted. We know that we're going to be losing money, most likely in mid-year because of New York State cuts. We can't afford we can't even afford to hire a new attorney and keep the two old ones on for 6 weeks. And then I think to even be thinking about an attorney whose professionalism is questioned by the state, it's just appalling to me. Very sad.
Is there,
Please make a comment.